films and fermentation, movies and inebriation. Films and fermentation, comedy mixed with tasty libation. Films and fermentation, with Leo, Kevman, and Mike.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Films and Fermentation. We had a little bit of a break there. We sent out a bonus episode last week that was video only, but we are back in studio, quote unquote, to throw together a full episode for you for this week. This episode will be released the day after Memorial Day, but we are calling this our Memorial Day episode. It is a submarine movie draft that we are going to be doing tonight. And we are calling this episode Silent but Deadly. That's right. We are Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast. We are, according to the email I got from Good Pods the other day, the #1 pop culture podcast, the #1 TV and film podcast, the #1 beer podcast, and the #1 podcast on the independent side for all those categories as well.
Are we like the #1 podcast?
I don't know if we're doing really well or if podcasting is doing really shitty.
Doing a little better since I learned how to work that search engine optimization. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're three friends like talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. This Memorial Day, we're diving deep, literally and cinematically, as we salute the silent service with an episode dedicated to the best submarine films ever made. These movies take us to the crushing depths of the ocean, where tension bubbles, torpedoes fly, and someone's always whisper yelling, "Dive, dive, dive," in a Russian accent. From claustrophobic corridors to heroic sacrifices, these stories capture the bravery of those who serve below the waves. While we have our usual laughs, we also tip our caps to the real submariners who navigated the deep. So strap in, pressurize the hatch, and prepare to submerge. This episode is going deep.
Not that deep.
I'm not a big fan of the ocean, so it's not going to be that deep. Don't forget to drop an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation. Find all of our social media and podcast links. Speaking of social media, there is no greater hive of scum and villainy on social media like Reddit.
Oh, that's for damn sure.
So, like, I'm on Twitter a lot for our podcast, and Twitter has its moments too. But Reddit is like, that's where you go when you want people to like shit on your dreams. So I posted a link to our podcast on one of the podcast promotion subreddits that I found. And I got 2 responses to it. The first one was, "Why should I care?" And the second one was, "How original, a podcast about movies and guys drinking while they're watching them. Go fuck off." And I thought to myself, why are you even on a podcast promotion subreddit if you don't want to read people's podcast promotions?
Yeah, no shit.
So, fucking Reddit. Everywhere else is pretty friendly, though. Become part of the Films and Fermentation family by going to Roku and downloading the PodNation TV network, the PodNation Media app on Roku. Or you can visit our Substack to subscribe to our official newsletter. We're an independent podcast, which means we are listener supported. So please consider joining our Patreon for as little as $1 a month to receive members only content. That's right. For a $1 donation, Kevin will do his best impression of a Russian submarine commander.
Dive, dive, dive.
Go to patreon.com or purchase merchandise at teespring.com. I thought you were going to give me the Sean Connery version of the Russian submarine commander. I'm a Russian submarine commander.
I spoke Russian, and now I'm dead. And then they
almost as good as when he speaks Japanese in Rising Sun.
They zoomed in on my lips, and it changed from Russian to English or Scottish.
You can now text us at 904-867-4466. What are we drinking tonight, gentlemen? Who wants to go first tonight?
Me.
No, you. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, this is the easy drinking Sam Adams American Light. It is something new that they've included in their summer variety pack. 4.2% alcohol by volume. Assuming it'll be just a lighter version of the traditional Sam that I like. And considering, we're doing submarines, usually that's military based American. Rawr! And then once you get through that, you guys know that most submarines are made in Vienna, which is completely land enclosed. So I have no idea if Vienna has any water to it. Anyway, I'm having a double nickel Vienna style lager, which is 5.3% percent alcohol by volume.
If I spend any time fact checking you, I'd be wasting a lot of time.
Do it.
We could do a whole episode on fact checking Kevin.
Trust me. Would I lie?
Would I lie? Mike, what are you drinking, sir? I saw it go up to your lips, and now I know what I want to see. I want to know what you got there.
So I am celebrating the Eagles tush push victory from yesterday. So I'm drinking some Bird Gang bourbon.
Nice. The league pushed and the Eagles tush pushed back.
I want to say one thing to that Reddit guy you were just saying about being original. At least we're not a fucking reactionary video show.
Yeah. I know, right?
Those out there. Fuck Christ.
There's a million of them. I am drinking something military themed tonight because we're celebrating Memorial Day. So I'm drinking from my favorite brewery, the Warhorse Brewery in Lake Seneca, New York, up in the Finger Lakes. A Bombshell apple cider, which is their World War II pinup inspired label. So I have two. I have the original apple cider, which is slightly tart. And when I finish that one, I have a strawberry tangerine, which also has a pinup model on the front. My favorite brewery, one of my favorite drinks. That is how I'm celebrating tonight. Speaking of positivity on social media, though, I forgot about this. We got another review on Pod Chaser from Underground Promotions about our AI episode. It says, we're listening to Films and Fermentation's 2024 or 2025 AI film episode. Leo, Mike, and Kevin sip and riff on Ex Machina's creepy androids, nostalgic banter, and sharp takes. It's top-tier AI horror. And Stellar Future Radio responded to that on Twitter with, the takes are indeed sharp. Which I believe is a positive.
I'm going to take it that way.
I believe it means we are edgy and interesting.
You try.
So speaking of edgy and interesting.
This week in film history with Mike. This week in film history with Mike.
So, a disclaimer that to our listeners, this is a 2-part episode because by the time I finish my list, we'll be done with this episode.
I'm not going to do as much. I don't think I'm going to do as much banter with this as I normally do because we got so many to get through.
All right, we're going to start off with the 1962. Marilyn Monroe sings "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" to JFK before 15,000 attendees, accompanied by jazz pianist Hank Jones at Madison Square Gardens in New York City.
Oh, I'm disappointed. I really thought Kevin was going to start trying to do the Marilyn Monroe happy. I said to Mike in pre-show before you came on, I bet you Kevin starts singing like Marilyn Monroe. Proved me wrong.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not with it.
What's the next one I got to say?
1977 caper comedy film Smokey and the Bandit, starring Burt Reynolds, Sally Fields, and Jackie Gleason, premieres at Radio City Music Hall in New York City.
Second most successful film of 1977 behind Star Wars. Smokey and the Bandit 2, second most successful film of 1980 behind Empire Strikes Back. It's the double Lucas cockblock.
Was Dom Reynolds in or Dom DeLuise in Smokey and the Bandit?
No.
He was just in Cannonball Run, right?
Yes.
Cannonball Run, yeah.
Yes.
They're both
There was a
car
Cannonball Run I'm
driving
thinking of that was cockblocked by George Lucas. No, I think it might have been Cannonball Run that was cockblocked by George Lucas.
I don't know because my next one is same week, 1977, original Star Wars movie, A New Hope, directed by George Lucas and starring Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford premieres.
Yeah, it was Smokey and the Bandit. They got double cockblocked by George Lucas. I think we've said a lot about Star Wars over the 3 years we've been doing this podcast, so we can move to the next one.
1979 horror film Alien, directed by Ridley Scott and starring Sigourney Weaver. Wow, is released.
I love Alien, man. Love it.
Great movie.
Great movie. Great sequel. Not so great sequels after that.
Not a great trilogy. Definitely not a great quadrilogy. And then the prequels.
At this point, not even a great octology at this point.
I don't know where Alien Romulus falls into it. It's not a prequel. It's not a sequel.
It's a midquel.
It's a midquel. It's like the Rogue One of Alien.
It's the Rogue One of Alien films. What's the next one you got there, sir?
Also in 1979, the first ACE Cable Awards, Emmett Otter Junk Band Christmas won by Jim Henson and HBO.
Woohoo!
Michael, you could blow the jug.
Ooh, you gotta put a hole in the washtub.
What's the name of the rock band?
Oh,
River Bottom Boys.
A River Bottom Nightmare Man.
River Bottom Nightmare Man.
Jack doesn't want to do that. Yes, I do. Okay, do that.
What's the next one?
In 1980, horror film The Shining released directed by Stanley Kubrick, starring Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall, based on the book by Stephen King.
One of the greatest horror films of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, sir.
1983, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars Episode 6, produced by George Lucas, is first released.
I'm not sure what got cockblocked that year by Jedi, though.
Harrison Ford.
Cannonball Walk.
Yeah. What's the next one you got?
1984, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, the second in the film series, though first in chronological order.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Harrison Ford, and produced by George Lucas. Lucasfilms premieres.
That's if you're not counting the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. And no one's counting.
I'm not counting Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. To me, the Young Indiana Jones is River Phoenix.
That is true.
I can tell you that Beverly Hills Cop was the #1 film in 1984, followed by Ghostbusters. Because we did a This Year in Film History 1984 episode way back. So
Yes, we did.
Mike, what's the next one you got?
1985, President Ronald Reagan awards Jimmy Stewart the Presidential Medal of Freedom and promotes him to Major General on the retired list.
Yes. I was telling Mike I was looking through things that we can take out to make this list shorter. I was going to take this one out, but it's a Memorial Day episode, so I was like, nope, got to leave that in. Speaking of River Phoenix.
Actually, it's out of order, so I'm going to skip that one and go to the one after it.
Okay.
Because in 1985, A View to a Kill, the 14th James Bond film, last to star Roger Moore, also starring Grace Jones and Christopher Walken, premieres in San Francisco.
Yeah, Roger Moore was like 60 when he did this film. He was like done with it at that point. So now getting to River Phoenix.
1989, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Harrison Ford, and produced by George Lucas. Lucasfilms premieres.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and assume both of you enjoy Raiders and Last Crusade as your two favorite Indiana Jones films, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which one takes the number one spot?
Raiders.
Raiders?
Mm.
Raiders.
Does
By far.
Crusade take spot number one for you?
I really like Crusade.
I'm not knocking it. If that's your number one, man, I won't argue it.
And I like Raiders. I love Raiders. I think so.
I'll tell you what. For the
I
longest
think the
time,
team of Sean Connery
Yeah.
and Harrison Ford was just amazing.
even though Connery was only like 7 years older than Ford,
Sean.
it was a rough 7 years.
He waits for no man.
I will say, for the longest time, Temple of Doom was like my number two, and it was only because it's the first one that I saw was Temple of Doom because I was young.
Mhm.
But after like rewatching the original trilogy a couple times, I've reassessed my my ranking, and now it's Raiders, Crusade, Temple of Doom,
Mhm.
and the two that shall not be named. The next one you got there, sir.
In 1997, The Lost World: Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Jeff Goldblum and Julianne Moore, premieres in the U.S.
Yeah, that movie happened.
This was a major disappointment to me. After
I
waiting
agree.
for the sequel book to come out, which I didn't expect, and then reading it, and then going and watching the movie, and it had nothing to do with it. I was pissed at Michael Crichton for bringing back a dead character.
Like he kills Jeff Goldblum's character off in the first book,
right?
And then the publishers were like, "Well, they're making a new movie and they're bringing Jeff Goldblum back, so you got to write a second book and you got to bring the character back."
Right.
And it was basically like the Jurassic Park equivalent of Rise of Skywalker. It was kind of like Jeff Goldblum returned somehow. Or what was the character's name? Dr. Malcolm or something like that?
Ian Malcolm.
Ian Malcolm returned. Somehow Ian Malcolm returns.
Life found a way.
Life found a way, exactly. What's the next one I got there, Mike?
1999 Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, directed by George Lucas, starring Ian McGregor, Natalie Portman, and Liam Neeson, is released in cinemas.
And absolutely everyone loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate it.
It's now getting a lot more love, though, with the release of the last three movies.
I started watching it on television the other day, and I was like, no, still can't stomach it.
I really feel like if you took Jar Jar Binks out,
and if you took out Jake, what's his face?
I think if you aged the character up a little bit,
yeah,
he's a little older.
If you didn't make it about a trade federation tax,
it didn't make it about like government. It's Star Wars. Dude. I don't go to Star Wars because I like my filibustering. When I don't watch a Star Wars filibuster, I'll watch the Patton Oswalt episode of Parks and Rec. What's the next? Oh, we talked about this one recently.
In 2007, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, directed by Gore Verbinski, starring Johnny Depp, Keira Knightley, and Orlando Bloom, premieres in Anaheim. Most expensive film, $300 million made at the time.
Definitely made its money back.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was a great film, but it definitely made its money back.
Well, you had to watch that one to finish the trilogy.
Because God forbid you don't finish the trilogy.
You gotta know what happens at the end. Come on.
What's going to happen to Davy Jones and Callisto?
Especially when it becomes a quintology later on.
Mm.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't count those because that just keeps Johnny Depp going. When Orlando Bloom's character and Keira Knightley character ends, that's where the story should end. Boom.
Yes, exactly. I agree. What's the next one you got there, sir?
2007 Coen Brothers film No Country for Old Men, based on Cormac McCarthy's novel starring Tommy Lee Jones, Javier Bardem, and Josh Brolin, premieres in the Cannes Film Festival, Best Picture 2008.
First time I watched this, I didn't like the movie that much. And then upon rewatch, I'm like, no, this is a pretty damn good movie. Javier Bardem plays one of the fucking scariest characters in the history of cinema in this film.
With a very original weapon.
With the cow thing that like punches him in the brain and all.
Mm-hmm.
Uses that, and then he also has that like Dutch boy haircut that's like somehow eerie.
Oh,
Yeah,
he uses that the cattle. Yeah,
it's the thing that like pierces the cow's brain. He uses that as the weapon in the movie.
wow.
He's fucking scary, man. He's so scary in that film. He won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for that. Speaking of Oscars for Best Supporting Actor, somebody from this film won one.
2009, Quentin Tarantino's film *Inglourious Basterds* premieres at the Cannes Film Festival with an ensemble cast including Brad Pitt, Michael Fassbender, and Diane Kruger.
And not on your list here is the guy that won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, Christoph Waltz, who plays the Nazi Hans Landa in the film. Talk about one of the scariest fucking villains in film history. He is terrifying in this movie. And lastly, we can close this out.
Yeah. It's a busy week. 2017, Wonder Woman, directed by Patty Jenkins, starring Gal Gadot and Chris Pine, premieres in Los Angeles. First superhero film directed by a woman.
And probably one of the few movies from the DCEU that I actually like really enjoyed was Wonder Woman.
It was very good. It was well done.
I mean, it was basically Captain America with a woman, but it worked.
That's what Wonder Woman is.
Yes. All right. So that was a lot of info that Mike had to throw at us this week, but it was a fun one. There was some good stuff on there. So let's move on to a different kind of news.
Kevin's here, he's here for beer. He's got news, it's beer news with Kevin.
It's a light beer news day, unintended, here on Films and Fermentation. I just have one story for you. If you remember, made national headlines a few weeks ago. A fan at a Pittsburgh Pirates game in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, fell from his seat from where they were about 20 feet onto the field. And to look at the video, it really does look like he's coming down on his head or neck. So the fact that he's still alive. But a friend was charged with providing beer to the fan who fell from the bleachers. A Pennsylvania man faced charges for allegedly providing alcohol to an underage baseball fan who was critically hurt at in a 20-foot fall at PNC Park in Pittsburgh last month. The fan, 20-year-old Kevman, K-A-V-A-N, Markwood, fell from the bleachers onto the field during the seventh inning of the Pirates-Cubs game on April 30th. He reportedly drank 2 beers inside the stadium, according to the criminal complaint. Ethan Kirkwood, 21, of McKeesport, Pennsylvania, now faces criminal charges for allegedly providing the alcohol, Pennsylvania State Police said on Tuesday. He has been charged with 2 counts of selling or furnishing alcohol to a minor, court records show. ABC News reached out to Kirkwood for comment, but they have yet to receive a response. Police reviewed receipts and video footage from PNC Park that showed Kirkwood purchasing 2 24-ounce cans of Miller Lite for $48 shortly before the 7 p.m. of the April 20th game. I was just kidding about the cost of the beer, guys.
I didn't even, as much as I question some of the things you say sometimes, I actually did not question that. If the beer cost $24 a cup, I would not have been fucking surprised.
Why would they sell it as a link for?
According to the complaint, and he is then seen on the video walking away from the bar area with Markwood and 2 women, and both men holding a can of beer. Over an hour later, Kirkwood is seen walking to the bar area and then walking to the seated area of the ballpark holding 2 cans of alcohol, according to the complaint. After Markwood fell from the bleachers, Kirkwood is then seen handing a can to the female, who throws it in the trash and jumping over the railing, and then jumped onto the field to help his friend, the complaint states. In interviews with police following the incident, Markwood's girlfriend said the 20-year-old drank 2 beers inside the park, and Kirkwood allegedly admitted to purchasing the alcohol. A preliminary hearing in the case is scheduled for June 23rd. Markwood is slowly recovering and took his first steps since his fall earlier this month. According to the girlfriend's mother, he still has a long way to go. He's dealing with a broken neck, clavicle, and back, so there are plenty of obstacles ahead. His girlfriend's mom, Jennifer Phillips, did they not reach out to this kid's parents themselves? Wrote on his GoFundMe page on May 6th, but he's showing real strength and we're staying hopeful for a smooth recovery. The Pittsburgh Department of Public Safety said that the incident is being treated as accidental. Amy Thompson, who was sitting next to Markwood at the game, told Pittsburgh ABC affiliate WTAE, as he jumped out of his seat to celebrate, it appeared that he had his hands on the fence in front of us, which I had done several times during the game as well. I think the momentum from him jumping up from his seat and the way he grabbed the rail just seemed like he catapulted himself over the railing. Right. Well, I'm sure the alcohol played its part too.
And I want to think the guy was probably drinking before the game too.
I'm sure they were pre-gaming in the parking lot. They got video of him having 2 beers inside the stadium. That's the only thing that they can account for.
I don't care if you're underage or not. Like, you're a real lightweight of 2 watered down stadium beers. Make you drunk.
I always say Miller Lite, even.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was drinking wild turkey in a parking lot before the game.
We're not going to discuss the drinking age because,
Yeah.
I have issues.
All right. So that was a light beer news week this week. I have a couple of movie updates this week.
Movie updates with Leo. Movie updates with Leo. Movie updates with Leo. Movie updates Leo.
The updates with Leo.
Right. Yeah. So first one is a sad one. George Wendt, best known as the lovable beer guzzling barfly Norm Peterson on Cheers, died this week. He was 77 years old. I don't normally do this when we do these passings of celebrities, but I have a little film clip I want to play because Cheers is one of my favorite shows of all time. And the Norm Peterson character, I love the Norm Peterson character. And I saw this clip online the other day and I was like, I got to play this. This is his final scene in the final episode of Cheers. Beautiful scene.
Sammy, I didn't want to say this in front of the others, but you know what I think the most important thing in life is? It's love. You want to know what I love? Beer, Norm? Yeah, that was a quick one. No, Sammy, I love that stool. If there's a heaven, I don't want to go there unless my stool is waiting for me. And I'll tell you what, even God better not be on it. You wouldn't dare. I don't think it matters what you love, Sammy. Could be a person, could be a thing. As long as you love it totally, completely, without judgment.
I saw that on.
Be there waiting for him right now.
Yeah, I saw that on TikTok the other day. I don't know who posted it. I wish I had it to give them a shout out, but I was like, it's such a great thing to post. I thought about doing the one with some of the. It was like a.
There was
it was like a collection of all the Norm greetings. Norm, how's life in the fast lane, Norm? I'll let you know as soon as I find the on ramp.
Well, it's funny you mention that because I had something for George Wendt too.
What's that?
I'll play it. Hopefully you can hear it.
Okay.
Let me just make sure I got everything cranked up. Okay, here we go.
Do you eat beans? Would you like to see a new movie starring George Wendt? Do you eat beans with George Wendt? Would you like to see George Wendt eating beans in a movie? Do you eat beans at George Wendt movies? Would you like to see George Wendt in a bean-eating movie? How many beans do you eat at George Wendt bean-eating movie? How many bean-eating movies have you seen with George Wendt?
Is that Animaniacs?
It is. I have no idea why I remember it, but there was a skit where it was Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, and they were in the mall, and two ladies came up wanting to take surveys, and one was about eating beans, and one was about George Wendt, and they just
And they mashed it together.
And
Mike
let's
and I
not
were-
let's
Go
not
ahead, Mike.
forget the famous. What really made him famous?
House.
The Bears.
stop it.
I thought you say the movie House.
No, the Bears.
The Bears.
We're here at Dicka's house. The Bears.
The Bears. Who
Stop
would
it.
win in a game where it was Dicka versus God?
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Pope.
So yeah, we looked at compilation video of all like his greetings, and two of my favorites were Norm, how's the wife? You know what they say about women, can't live with them, pass the pretzels. And the one Mike and I were talking about before the show, where Lilith and Frasier are arguing over the fact that Frasier's been bringing the baby to the bar, and he's like, he's never going to learn to talk in an environment like this. And Norm walks in and goes, "Hey, everybody!" And the baby goes, "Norm." And,
Hey,
it's
Norm.
great.
Still pouring? I was about to ask you the same thing, Sammy.
What's up, Mr. Peterson? You should be asking what's going down into Mr. Peterson. I have a movie recommendation for you, folks. I had taken a day off last week because I had a doctor's appointment and all that, and had some time to kill afterwards. So I went to the movies and saw Thunderbolts, the new MCU film. It is good.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It is probably the best movie that Marvel has made. I want to say, so like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was really, really good. And not much else has been that good since like Endgame. So this is like really good. You know, it's a good throwback to like the way the MCU movies were in the beginning. It was really, really fun. Florence Pugh was great in it. Lewis Pullman, who is Bill Pullman's son, plays a major character in the film. He is really good. David Harbour as the Red Guardian is fucking hilarious as always. It was a really fun film.
Don't you mean the new Avengers?
Yeah, so that's the joke at the end of the film. I mean, it's kind of like spoiled already, but they at some point start referring to themselves as the new Avengers and becomes kind of a running joke in the film. And last thing I have, Amazon Films have announced a new film about the life of football legend John Madden, particularly the development of the EA Sports Madden video game that he collaborated on. And I bring it up because I wanted to show you this picture I found. In the film, it stars Christian Bale as Al Davis, the owner of the then Oakland Raiders.
Oh, God.
Which I think is pretty interesting casting. And in the role of John Madden, Kevin's favorite actor, Nicolas Cage. And there they are. That is Christian Bale and Nicolas Cage as Al Davis and John Madden.
My God.
I know. A little bit of prosthetic makeup looks like on Nick Cage there.
Who sent me the Nick Cage pickle?
That was me.
That was
Kevin disturbing. I gotta send it to you, Mike. It's a somebody did an AI animated thing. It was Nicolas Cage's face on a pickle, and it was called Pickles Cage. and it was a pickle with Nick Cage's face singing the song from Long Legs. 1, 2.
Not once, not twice, but as many times.
Oh, I should have put that soundbite up for tonight.
Oh God.
Oh man. So, Mike, you have a must-try beer craft destination for us?
I got a must-try beer. It's a specialty beer. It's called 3 Fontaine Oud Guzes. It's Belgium.
And I were trying to figure this out earlier. I was like, I don't even know how to pronounce this fucking thing.
A quintessential handcrafted goose blended from 1, 2, and 3-year-old lambics, spontaneously fermented and matured in oak casks, unfiltered, unpasteurized, and aged an additional year in the bottle. It develops a refined champagne-like effervescence with a golden orange hue. It delivers a dry, complex, and intensively fruity bouquet. The result is a bold yet elegant expression of traditional lambic, a testament to the passion and craftsmanship of Armand and Gaston de Belder.
You did good with that, man. I don't even know how to pronounce the name of that freaking beer. All right. We are going to take a short break to hear these words from the Pod Nation Media Network. And then we'll be back with our main segment on submarine movies, the submarine movie draft. Hey, movie lovers. This is Leo.
Mike.
And Kevin from Films and Fermentation.
If you love comedy, movies, and a good drink in hand, then you need to check out the Pod Nation Media Network.
It's home to a variety of amazing podcasts covering everything from pulp culture to history, and of course, movies like ours.
And the best part, Pod Nation Media Network is featured on Roku, so you can stream your favorite podcasts anytime.
Alongside Films and Fermentation, you'll find other fantastic shows like the KJ&A podcast, The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, Real Sharks, and so many more.
So grab a drink, press play, and join the fun with Pod Nation Media Network.
Because everything's better with a little comedy, movies, and booze.
Learn more by going to linktree.com/podnationpods. All right. Thank you for hanging out with us during that little break. We are going to our main segment tonight, Silent but Deadly. So in honor of Memorial Day, we are talking about submarine films, but we decided to do things a little bit differently tonight. We are doing a draft this evening, something that we have not done on the show before. Each of us is going to pick a series of 5 movies in order to create our ultimate movie marathon. Each one of us will be picking 2 military-based films. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is a war film, but that the military is featured in the film in some way. 2 non-military films, so it could be a sci-fi, comedy, or drama, whatever it might be, but there's no military in the film. And 1 wild card pick. The wild card can be any genre of film and can include movies that we don't have on our prospect list, or it could even be like a TV film or something like that, to make a total of 5 films. We're going to pick to see who's going first, and we're going to do snake draft rules. So first pick in the first round, we'll have third pick in the second round, and go back and forth like that. So we'll see how this works out. Hopefully this works out, because this could be fun, and then we can do this again later on for something else. We'll see. So I am going to share my screen so that I can show you guys the wheel o' names. There it is. And see who's going first. Here we go.
Wheel of morality. Spin, spin, spin.
So Mike has the first pick in the draft.
Woo!
All right. Mike gets the first pick. I'm going to put that on my spreadsheet here so I can keep track of this. So Mike gets the first pick. And let's spin the wheel now to see who gets the second pick in the draft.
Mike!
Well, I took your name out, so it's just me and Kevin now. I get the second pick in the draft, which means Kevin gets the third pick. You guys actually, I think, have the advantage here, because each of you at some point or another gets to make 2 picks in a row, and I'm stuck at number 2 the whole game. So with that being said, we have a list of 30 movies here: dramas, comedies, sci-fi, fantasy, some military based, some not. All are famous films involving submarines or are like sort of submarine adjacent in some way. So we will each pick 2 military, 2 non-military, and 1 wild card, and you can pick in any order you want. It's up to your heart's desire. What film do you want first? So, Mike, you can take a moment to look at the list, pick the movie you want to take first, tell us why you're taking it, and then we'll move on from there. So, with the first pick in the draft, Mike takes
Go Bama. Roll Tide.
you're
Crimson
taking
Tide.
Crimson Tide?
Take Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide with the first pick in it, not where I thought this was going. So Mike takes Crimson. Why did you take that one, Mike?
I think it's a great movie.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I like how it's all about just the one submarine.
Yeah.
And what's going on in that one submarine.
The battle for control.
Yes.
Cocky
Something
young first officer. The seasoned gristle captain.
Something that will really never really happen in the military in the United States. But
But great performances and chemistry from Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman in that film.
The late great Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman. Yeah, it is a great movie. It's not the one I expected to go first, but then again, that's what happens when you do a draft.
Well, it's either that or
don't tell me. We don't want to ruin. You don't want to spoil picks or have somebody.
As long as we leave Deion Sanders' son for last.
Shadur Sanders is waiting until the 5th round.
Yeah.
So so you don't want to give away what you're doing here because we don't want you don't want people stealing from you.
True enough.
The opportunity to. So I do have the second pick now, and I'm actually glad that Mike took Crimson Tide so that I could take this one. My first pick in the draft. Hold on. With the second pick in the submarine movie draft, I will be taking The Hunt for Red October.
That was the second. That was my choices between those two. For my first pick.
I know. I really thought Hunt would have went first.
Mm-hmm.
So I am taking Hunt for Red October because it stars Sean Connery doing his Russian submarine commander with a Scottish accent.
I thought it would have been because it's part of the Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy.
It is the first Jack Ryan film starring Alec Baldwin as Jack Ryan.
Yep.
Great.
All-star cast, too.
All-star cast. Great. I was going to say great supporting role from James Earl Jones. You got Sam Neill. Yeah. I always wanted to see Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Scott Glenn is in this too? I mean, it's a hell of a
yeah, he's the captain of the Dallas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is Hunt for Red October. I think this is like probably the quintessential submarine film, at least from like the American standpoint. There are some foreign films that are just as popular, but I think this is the quintessential American submarine film. So I am taking The Hunt for Red October with my first pick. So I picked a military film, and Mike also picked a military film for his first pick. So I'm going to make sure I make a note of that.
Well, there's a lot of military films on this.
I mean, there's a lot of military films, but I want to make note because we are going to be picking some that are not at some point. So, Kev, you are now up with the third pick. Do you have a pick in mind, or do you need a moment?
No, I'm pretty good. I had to go through my limitations, my choices. But I'm good.
All right. So with the third pick in the draft, Kevin takes U571.
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 With Bill Paxton and oh my god!
All right. My tie's broken. I got it.
I think it's the picture coming in quick and fast now, people.
We're in the 7th round. So yes, why did you pick U571?
It's a good story. It's Matthew McConaughey. It's Bill Paxton. It's them abducting. I'm sorry. What am I thinking of here? What's the word I want to use? Stealing or confiscating? Not confiscating. what's it called when a cop pulls the guy? I need your car.
Impounding?
What's that?
Is it
Not
impounding?
impounding. No, they're taking the car because they got to go on a chase. It's
oh, yeah, I know what you mean. I
you
can't
know
think
what
of
I'm
the word.
thinking of. Yeah. Anyway, not only do they come across commandeering a German U-boat, right? And the boat, I believe, if memory serves correct, has the key for decoding the messages that's going on between the Germans and its ally and the Axis. Or I could be mixing up my movies here. No, it's got the code breaker. It's got the code breaker built into it. But having to take the boat back into American waters while being a German U-boat is proving to be more difficult than they thought.
This is McConaughey in this film, right?
McConaughey and Bill Paxton and others.
And others. This film, by the way, also directed by the same guy who directed Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines.
Oh, it had John Bon Jovi in it. John Bon
Jovi.
Harvey Keitel.
I might have to rewatch this. I don't remember Bon Jovi being in it.
Bon Jovi was in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It did win an Oscar. Let's see what the Oscar was for. Won an Oscar for Best Sound Editing. Sounds about right for a movie like this.
I mean, it's kind of a bunch of faces where you'd recognize the faces, but you probably would not know their name, actor-wise. Yeah. But it's good. It actually it gave me some submarine movies give you that sense of claustrophobia watching it, and this one definitely did,
I never could have served on a submarine. I can't cramp spaces like that. Not do it.
A little cozy, a little too snug.
A little too snug for me.
You should have seen him in that caboose.
Oh my god! Yeah, we did a what was that? Escape room on a caboose, and I had a fucking panic attack. It was so tiny. So Kev, since we're doing snake draft rules, you now have another pick. So you get to pick again, sir.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where's my doorbell?
So let's see. Each of us has picked a military-based film so far. So you can pick anything else you want, or unless you want to fill out your military form at this point.
Mm-hmm. Where's my doorbell?
You have your pick?
I have my pick.
All right. With the fourth pick in the draft, fuck you. Fuck you, man. I was waiting to take that with my next pick. I wanted that with my next pick. I wanted that so fucking bad.
You took my hunt.
Jesus Christ.
You took my hunt.
Son of a bitch. So that's a non-military film. Well, actually, no. I think I put that down as a military, didn't I?
It has military elements.
It has military elements because there are naval officers on the ship on the boat with them. Oh, so anyway, Kevin picked The Abyss, a movie that I really wanted to take because I love it. It's one of my favorite James Cameron films. But Kevin took it from me because I took Hunt for Red October. This is how the draft works. You got to fuck each other over.
That's right.
So
it says Michael Bean. It's got
Did you take The Abyss just to screw me over, or
no,
did you actually?
I love this movie. This is a great movie.
I love this movie too.
If you got to grab what you want first because
I know.
It's got.
Well, that's why I took Hunt first. I took Hunt for October first because of that. I was hoping nobody else would take The Abyss.
This is a underwater oil mining, maybe, or some.
Yeah, they're oil miners.
Oil miners or miners of some sort. They have a underwater rig where they stay. It's pressurized. They are asked or tasked, I guess you could say, to go look into a sunken Russian submarine to see if there are any survivors, which has fallen on the edge of an abyss. That's where the word "the abyss" comes from. And in their investigation, they find aliens of some sort, something.
Aliens of the Deep.
Aliens of the Deep.
This is why Cameron named his documentary Aliens of the Deep.
Oh.
Because he was paying homage to his film, The Abyss. Yeah, I am so angry you took that from me. I love this fucking movie. Do you have anything else you want to say about it, or can I get to my pick now?
No, I think you can get to your next pick.
Okay. So I don't think
it had Chris Elliott in it too.
Yes, it had Chris Elliott in it. It does have Chris Elliott in it.
Appreciate Chris Elliott, but he was
as the deck officer or whatever it is on the ship that finds him at the end.
Yes.
Let's see. So I have my next pick. I don't think any of you guys would take this from me, but since I can't get The Abyss, I'm gonna pick with my heart on the second pick, and I am taking. Wait, I gotta ring my bell. Hold on. So with the next pick, I am taking Dunkirk.
Nice.
I love Dunkirk. I think it's a masterpiece of a film. In my personal opinion, I know a lot of people are going to say it's probably Oppenheimer or Interstellar or something, but I think Dunkirk is Nolan's best film. I really, really like this movie. I think it's extremely well done. The cinematography is amazing. The underlaying clock tick in the score that makes you feel really tense while you're watching the film. Amazing performances. The scene with the guys drowning on the ship after they're attacked by the German submarine is a very claustrophobic and nerve-wracking scene. I really, really, really love this film. I really like this. I mean, not to say that I don't like other Nolan films. I think Nolan is a master auteur and deserving of the Oscar for Oppenheimer. But in my personal opinion, this is the best movie he's ever made. So I figured, you know what? I don't think either of you guys were going to take this one from me, but just in case, I needed to pick with my heart here.
You know, I enjoyed the movie. I was really struggling to remember the submarine portions of it, though.
So the submarine portion is a German U-boat sinks one of the British ships.
Right.
And the guys are trying to get out, and they're trying to decide who they need to leave behind, who's going to die, who's going to drown, who's going to escape. And it's like a very tense scene. So yeah, with some of these, it's sort of like submarine adjacent films.
Right.
But I had to you had to fill the field out somehow. So, So Kevin and I have both picked our military films. We now have 2 non-military picks and a wild card, which could be anything. So if we wanted a third military film, we could pick it there. And that leads to pick number 6, which is Mike. Mike, do you have a pick, or do you need time?
I do have my pick.
All right, the 6th pick is in. With the 6th pick in the draft, Mike takes
Whale of a tale to tell you, lad. A whale of a tale or two. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Are you taking that as non-military or wild card?
Non-military.
Non-military pick. Very good, sir. So you're the first one of us to take a non-military film. Go ahead. Tell us why you picked 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Well, I love the movie to begin with, but I'm also looking at the non-military movies on this list, and there's not many I've seen. So this is definitely one of the ones I've seen. I mean, there's a couple I've seen, but this is the best of the ones.
It is a good one. It's one that I was eyeing for either a non-military pick or a wild card pick later on. I was eyeing that one. I'm not angry that you took it. I'm not as angry as I am at Kevin for taking The Abyss. But that is a really good pick.
You really think I wasn't going to take the Disney movie?
It is a great movie, man. Kirk Douglas, James Mason.
Mm-hmm.
This is 1954. This movie came out. I was really young when I saw this.
The Nautilus.
The Nautilus, yeah. It is an Oscar winner for Best Special Effects and Best Art Set Direction.
This was always my idea of what the Nautilus would and should look like, and then came out the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Where it looked like a pleasure cruiser.
It looked like a sword, a white polished sword of the ocean. It's so dumb. Oh, makes me mad.
Peter Lorre in this film as well.
Lord.
Yeah, it's a great pick, man. Yeah, and I agree. This is kind of like because I had read the book too when I was a kid, and to me, like in my head as I was reading the book, that was my picture of the Nautilus that I saw as I was reading because I had seen the movie first, and then had read the book, and so like that was my Nautilus in my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good pick, Mike. That's a good one. You also get the next pick too because we are snake draft again. So, what is the 7th pick in the draft for you, sir?
So let's.
Should I keep doing the bell, or should we? Can we like record? Can we like retire the NFL draft bell at this point?
Let's see. My pick is in.
All right, the pick is in for the 7th pick in the draft. The 7th pick, Mike takes
Down Periscope.
you fucker.
Kelsey Grammer at his best.
I think we're going to retire the chime because it's like it's not acting right now. So okay, so Down Periscope, which I actually have listed as a military film because it is about the Navy.
Yep.
And Mike takes that from me because he's a son of a bitch. And I want to take down. So, dude, sometimes I'll rewatch films in preparation for an episode. The only movie I rewatched in preparation for this episode was Down Periscope. I watched it last night with my wife because she actually likes the movie too. So, you son of a bitch. The quintessential submarine comedy, I believe.
I would say yes. Well, you're up now, Lee. So what are you going to take?
You don't have anything else to say about Down Periscope other than screwing me over?
Well, I mean, you guys said enough, you know.
God damn it. Now I got to go through this list here and think. I have a feeling the next one I pick might be one that screws Kevin over.
Sure.
Which he deserves it because he screwed me over and Mike screwed me over. So I have to figure out a way to screw Mike over. So with the next pick in the draft, I'm done with the NFL draft time. We're just going to keep going
Okay.
now. With my next pick in the draft, I am taking one of my favorite Wes Anderson films, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, Angelica Houston, Jeff Goldblum. Oh my God, who else is in it? What's her name? I can't even think of the actress's name.
Gwyneth Paltrow?
No, not Gwyneth Paltrow. Hela from Thor Ragnarok. Kate Blanchett.
Yes.
Kate Blanchett's in it. It's a very quirky film, as most Wes Anderson films are. I feel like this is Wes Anderson before he became even more Wes Anderson-y. It is a fantasy film. This is a non-military based film. So that's my first non-military based one. Steve Zissou, played by Bill Murray, is a underwater, what do you want to call him? Like a documentarian or something. He's on the search for this shark, this rare shark that killed his friend. Owen Wilson plays his estranged son. Kate Blanchett is a reporter who's covering this story. Willem Dafoe is in it as well as a very quirky first mate.
Wait, Willem Dafoe's quirky?
Yeah, hard to believe, especially in a Wes Anderson film.
Mm-hmm.
It is, it's one of my favorite of the early Wes Anderson works. So I decided to take that one in my non-military based category, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, which means Kevin is back on the clock.
Back on the clock. Do I pick because I like the movie, or do I pick to fuck people over? That
is the crux of this game, my friends.
Let's see. I will pick because I like the movie. I like the book better, but I was going to because I just like Michael Crichton. I'm picking Sphere.
A movie I didn't think anybody was going to pick, but I'm glad you did because I did not want to pick it.
It's also
Again,
one of those.
I agree with you. The book is amazing.
The book's great.
The movie is fucking terrible. But I really like the book.
Yeah. It's like, man, growing up, it's like, oh yes, they're making a movie out of after Jurassic Park lit the match of Michael Crichton novels.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, I'm gonna watch Congo. Congo sucked. I'm gonna watch Spheres. Spheres sucked.
This is more of a book pick for you.
Yeah. So I am picking Sphere.
I was excited when this film came out because, again, like you said, like it's a Michael Crichton story. The book was really good. And then you look at the cast, man. Dustin Hoffman, Sharon Stone, Samuel L. Jackson, Liev Schreiber, Queen Latifah, Peter Coyote, hey, Huey Lewis. And I'm like, wow, that's a great cast, man. This has to be a good movie. Zero chemistry. Dustin Hoffman was way out of his element. And it's not like Dustin Hoffman can't do sci-fi. He did Outbreak.
Well,
All right. So, Kev, you now have the next pick as well.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh. Let's see.
So you have a non-military and a wild card pick.
Yes. Okay. I am picking The Meg with Jason Statham and
Really
Megalodon-ish. What's that?
I really fucking hate you guys tonight. I was going to take that as my wild card. So The Meg, a non-military film. Are you taking that as your non-military or your wild card?
No, that's my non-military.
That's a non-military film. The Meg with Jason Statham. Go ahead, talk about it.
It is about a megalodon that has been found in the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean that has come back to life, I guess. And it is, it's doing what great white sharks do. They just gobble up people. And it's up to Jason Statham to, beat it up with his fists because that's what he does. So.
All right. Okay. You took that, so I got to figure something else out now. Just took the fucking Meg from me. I could with my wild card pick because it's not on the list. I could take the Meg 2, The Trench. But even that is pushing the limits of reality. So let me look at my list here now and look at some of the other movies that are on there. So there are, oh my God, let's see. There are some good movies on here still that I could take. I am going to take in military films because I still need a military film, I believe. I have Hunt for October. I have 2 military films. I need a non-military and a wild card. So with my wild card pick, I am taking Das Boot. Das Boot from 1981. German thriller about a U-boat and the shit that goes wrong on it. Considered a classic. It was an Oscar nominee for Best Picture in 1981. Stars Jürgen Prochnow. Good movie. One I haven't seen in a while, but it's definitely fits the wild card category for me. So there's also a fun joke in the movie Beer Fest. Jürgen Prochnow, who stars in Das Boot, is in Beer Fest as the villain, and in one scene he's trying to sneak into America in a submarine, and he starts losing his shit, and he goes, "I'm sorry, these submarines make me nervous. I had a bad experience on them once." So I am taking Das Boot with my wild card pick. So that leaves goes back to Mike. So Mike, you get 2 picks, and these are your last 2 picks because this will take us into the 5th round.
Yeah, so it would take me. I need my second non-military and my
and your wild card.
So I'm going to go with my second non-military and go with We all live in a yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. Yellow submarine.
So I am not going to get angry at you for that one. I was leaving that one as like an emergency pick if I needed it.
I love that movie too.
But
I mean,
I like Yellow Submarine as well, but you can have that one. I'm fine with
Argentina.
it. Very trippy film. It plays well if you have taken a couple of CBD gummies before watching it.
It's one of those movies we would put it on the list of movies you should watch drunk
or high, yeah, or both.
You know, because we have that category up there on one of the shows we're going to do one of these days. I didn't list of that.
as a little bit of a segue, there is a Beatles film in development right now.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, and I know it's 4 like pretty up and coming young actors playing the 4 Beatles. One of them is Barry Keoghan.
He's playing Ringo.
He's playing Ringo in the film. Yeah, and it looks it was a pretty decent cast, so it looks like it might be a good film.
Okay.
So that's your non-military film. So you got 2 non-militaries, 2 militaries. It's now time for your wild card, sir.
And my wild card is going back to the military branch, and we're going Operation Pacific.
Operation Pacific. I threw a bunch of old ones on there because I had a feeling you would know them better than I would.
Well, this is a John Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. So go ahead and talk about it, sir.
John Wayne, Patricia Neal, Ward Bond is in it. The second in command inherits the problems of the torpedo that did not explode on the submarine. So then they get to shore. I mean, it's a serious, but there's some comedy to it. Of course, it's a John Wayne, so an older film, so there's got to be romance somewhere in there.
Where would you rank this on like your top, like John Wayne films?
It would not be in my higher top ones. I mean, there are some definitely better military ones he's done.
Would it be in like the top 10 somewhere?
I'd put it top 15.
Top 15. Okay.
Yeah, because if you got to think about with his westerns and his military ones, there's, you got like the Fighting Seabees, the Sands of Iwo Jima, just today. Green Beret. People love that movie. I'm not. That was not one of my favorites of his.
Genghis Khan.
Definitely not.
I love throwing that one out there. All right. So that means I have my last pick, and I already picked my wild card. That was Das Boot. So I have to pick a non-military based film. That field is running a little low. So I'm going to take one that I don't think either of you have probably seen, but I have seen it, and I really like this film. And it's a film that I think our friend Cthulhu Jack would like. It's called Underwater. So I am taking that as my non-military film. Underwater stars Kristen Stewart. She's a member of a research team that is studying the bottom of the Mariana Trench. They're living on a facility at the bottom of the trench. It's obviously a movie that's kind of like further in the future when we would be able to do something like that. They're often like using submarines to kind of go out and like explore the areas around the trench. And I say our friend Cthulhu Jack might like it because they begin getting attacked by these creatures that are unidentified. And spoiler alert, at the end of the film, Cthulhu rises from the deep. It is a very intense, very well paced thriller. Kind of went under the radar. Not many people knew about this film when it came out. But like I said, it's very well paced, very, very well acted. And if you want to talk claustrophobic, this is a claustrophobic movie because you're talking about being stuck at the bottom of the fucking Pacific Ocean here. So it's a good movie. That's my last non-military based pick. So I have my 5. So Kevin, this is your last pick, sir. You have a wild card left.
I have a wild card left. It can be anything, not even on the list. Right?
You can pick anything, even something that's not on the list.
I know what he's going to pick.
What are you going to pick?
He's going to pick the USS Indianapolis.
Kevin, what are you picking?
I am picking a movie called. Oh, can't see that. Can you?
No, I can't really make out what that says.
It's called Last Breath.
Last Breath?
Yes.
All right.
New movie came out this year. Alex Parkinson suggested to me by a co-worker. It stars Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole.
I saw the trailer for this recently.
Yes.
Okay.
Based off of the true story. These are underwater oil pipe workers who are they have to go down into the bottom of the North Sea to make repairs to these oil lines. A wicked hot storm rolls in, causing the ships above, which supply them with oxygen and energy and everything, to have to like move out of place from where they're at. But these guys are 300 feet under the water, and it's like instantaneous. One of them gets separated from the others, and that far deep, it's just pitch black. You can't see anything. So they're trying to figure out how to find him, as he's been separated from everybody else.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer. Now I didn't know that's what it was called. It kind of slipped my mind, but I remember watching the trailer and going, "Oh Christ, no!" That kind of stuff makes me so nervous, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so to recap,
that's streaming on Peacock, by the way.
Okay, cool. I might have to check it out. Mike chose Crimson Tide, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Down Periscope, son of a bitch, Yellow Submarine, and Operation Pacific. I chose Hunt for Red October, Dunkirk, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, Das Boot, and Underwater. And Kevin chose U-571, The Abyss, Sphere, The Meg, and Last Breath, a new one that wasn't on our list. So movies that did not make the draft, but were on our prospect list: Run Silent, Run Deep from 1958, K-19, The Widowmaker, a Harrison Ford film, The Enemy Below from 1957, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Black Sea, which is a fairly new film. It looked pretty good when I was watching some trailers for these. I might have to check that one out. Torpedo Run, Hunter Killer, The Wolf's Call, The Command Below, The Bedford Incident, USS Indianapolis, starring Kevin's favorite actor, Nick Cage. Nobody picked that one. 1941 from 1979. What's that, Mike?
The Indianapolis is it's a good film.
I'm just making fun of Kevin.
Yeah.
1941 from 1979. That is a failed Steven Spielberg comedy about World War II. Operation Petticoat, The Frogmen, and The Damned are movies that were available to be picked, but were not picked. So I'll be posting our picks online. I would like hopefully people out there to vote on who had the best lineup for a movie marathon. Mike, you have any beer trivia or history for us this evening?
I do. Why Hefenstiefen Brewery is Riesing's Germany is considered the oldest in the world and dates back to 1040, though the nearby Woltenberg Abbey Brewery is only 10 years younger and often disputes the claim.
And we have a cinema quote of the week.
Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency. Denzel Washington.
From the first round draft pick.
Yes, considering Denzel is on my Mount Rushmore of actors, I will believe anything the man said.
Yeah, he came from the first round draft pick tonight, so
that's right. Revisiting our drinks here. Kev, how was that brand new Sam Adams?
It was okay. It was a light beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Sam Adams at least.
Yeah, no, look, of all the light beers, it's not the worst. So.
Mike is celebrating the push victory with his Bird Gang bourbon.
Never go wrong with Bird
Never
Gang.
go wrong with that. And I had some Bombshell hard ciders from Warhorse Brewery in Finger Lakes. Something I have had many times before. I'm never disappointed by it. So we had some good drinks this evening. So thank you for joining us tonight for episode 195, Silent but Deadly. We hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Don't forget, you can send us an email, filmsandfermentation@gmail.com, or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. Find us on Patreon. You can find some merchandise at Teespring, or you can text us at 904-867-4466. Plenty of ways to get in touch with us. Give us your ideas, your comments, your questions, submissions, or let us know which one of us had the best draft this evening. Don't forget to stop by the crossroads between Pickle and Fermented next time around for episode 196. We're taking a little swerve this time. We have not really talked about TV much on this show, mostly talk about movies. But next week, we're going to talk about TV a little bit. Each of us is going to talk about our 5 favorite movie or TV shows of all time. Actually, I'm wondering, guys, should we do like categories like comedy, drama, or should we just do one list?
No, I think doing categories would be great.
Yeah, because I'm like thinking of it now, and I'm like, I have some shows that like are dramas and some are comedy. Like I can't like make it that hard for myself. So maybe we'll do like favorite comedies and favorite like non-comedies or something like that. Either way, we're talking about TV shows next week, so please join us. In the meantime, I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
This has been the Films and Fermentation podcast. Shador Sanders just got picked. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.